The City of North Ridgeville Utilities Committee is now in session. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Thank you. Today's date is July 21st, 2025. The members of the Utilities Committee are present, leading with myself, Chairman Martin DeVries, Councilman Eric Schaefer, Councilman Bruce Avens. Others that are currently here, Council President Jason Jacobs, Councilwoman Georgia Awig, Councilwoman Holly Swank. From the Mayor's Administration, we have Mayor Kevin Corcoran and the Director of Finance, April Wilkerson. Also present is Assistant Council Clerk Fajabi Ghanem. First off, we have the minutes dated September the 3rd, 2024. Are there any changes or corrections? Hearing none, those minutes are approved. We move on to new business. This evening, we have some legislation in front of us, which is O225-100, an ordinance amending section 1060.07, collection rate discounts and waivers of NRCO Chapter 1060, garbage and refuse collection and disposal. This legislation is being introduced by Councilwoman Holly Swank. At this time, I will turn it over to her to explain your legislation.
Thank you. In the course of my tenure on City Council, I've been getting a lot of phone calls and requests about, people's water bills, more or less senior citizens. The rates are going up. They're being charged all kinds of different fees. I did sit down with Tara in April, and we discussed it. I did notice when I was digging through the legislation that the already $2 charge or $2 credit that people can get, it only was proposed for that year. So they had been giving this credit for the past 30 years, and it was only for that contract period. I don't know if you recall, but last council meeting, the administration obviously caught that when they were digging through this legislation, and we had passed to approve the permanent $2 discount. The homestead, I think, is a different one because you have to actually qualify for that. If you don't qualify for that as a senior citizen, you don't get that additional dollar. I know that the $5 is a huge ask. From the last utility meeting, we had discussed passing on the credit card fees to the consumer, which would save the city an estimated $450,000. I'm not opposed to reducing this fee from $5 to $3, so to make it a total of $5 with the other $2 that we had previously passed. But I think that saving $450,000 worth of credit card fee transactions since we've passed that legislation could help some senior citizens and those who are 100% disabled on their water bill, considering that we have added a water meter surcharge and then the sewer or the storm water fee on their water bills. So I'm open for discussion.
Very good, thank you. At this time, I would ask from the Mayor's Administration, Director of Finance, April Wilkerson, have you had a chance to look at the numbers on this? If we implemented this type of a discount, what
Mr.
the cost
President,
would be to the city?
Could I interrupt for a second and just set the table? Because I think we were a little bit all over the place at the beginning. So there's multiple utilities that are covered on your utility bill. There's water, sewer, and then garbage, okay? There are multiple discounts that the city offers on those rates, and I just wanted to lay them out for everybody so they understood what we were talking about. Number one, there is a senior discount that starts at the age of 62 for garbage. Okay, it's a refuse discount. When you turn 65 and you obtain a homestead exemption through the county, you're eligible for an additional $1 discount, making the total discount on refuse $2. Okay. Separately, there's a whole water discount that's available to seniors. And I want to point out that that is also at age 62. So there's two that start at 62, and one that's 65, but only if you're eligible through a separate outside process from the city. That water discount could be anywhere from about $15 or less of a discount per month, depending on your water usage. So the way that works is we have a minimum water rate fee that gets charged on a monthly basis, and that is $19.40, I believe. But if you're a senior, that 62 mark, and you use less than 400 cubic feet, you can get a discount off of your water bill based on your exact usage. So there's the standard 1940 that everybody pays as a baseline. But if you only use 100 cubic feet per month, for example, well, you're only paying like $4 and something cents per month. So the more significant discount of all the discounts that we offer to seniors is the water discount. So I wanted to set the stage, for what we offer and what people are able to get, okay? But the important number to remember is everything starts at age 62. So this ordinance is asking for it to be changed to 65. But this amendment is only covering the refuse, okay? We still have the water discount that's important. So there's a whole other piece to this that's important to have in the conversation as opposed to just simply the amendment that's in front of us. At this point, I know we're joined by Tara Pete and Lisa Diedrich, who can talk about any of the utility questions that you might have. But right now, April will talk about the discount as it was proposed, I believe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Okay, PJ, if you want to. So I have a fund balance as it is today. I think. I have it up. It's up. Yeah. Yeah, those are different reports.
If you want to send it to me, I can.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yep. No? No. Do you want me to email it to you?
You have twos? Yeah.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. Oh, now my emails. That's so weird. I don't understand that.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you all for being here.
First.
Good thing we have till 7.
Yeah, I believe so. I can barely see it, so. Okay, so this is the fund summary as of the 18th of July. This has the forecasted numbers for 2026 based on our tax budget. You'll see that, so first I want to say that the refuse fund is a separate fund. We have funds for refuse, we have funds for water, sewer, and storm, all separate. So the revenues that come in here are solely derived from the charges for services from refuse collection. This fund has an ordinance of its own that stipulates what the carry forward amount must be, and it is 2 months of refuse collection, the amount we pay to our supplier. So I do want to let the audience and the committee know of those two things. So you can see what this ordinance that dictates the analysis of this fund says is that annually, the finance director will evaluate the fund and determine whether there's the potential for, whether the rate for refuse will increase, will decrease, or if there's a necessity for a rate holiday. So you'll see on the bottom, if we're just looking at 2025, for example, you will see we have our revenues, we have our expenditures, which are broken out between personal services, other, and refuse collection. In the fund annually made $46,824. We take into account the beginning rollover fund balance, then we take out the carry forward. The carry forward's mandated by ordinance, and our fund ends with $33,303. So as you see on the bottom, the potential for rate holiday, for 1 month's rate holiday for 2025 based on our number of customers, we need $358,022 for everybody to get a 1 month rate holiday. So in 2025, that's not an option because we don't have enough remaining balance in the fund, less the carry forward of 2 months, to accommodate that. And you'll see that that's the case in 26, 27, 28. Things start to get a little better. From this forecast, we would anticipate having a rate holiday in 2029 because the fund balance gets high enough at that point to accommodate 1 month for every customer that we service. So this is what it looks like today. Fiji, do you want to pull up the next? Okay. So the next fund summary is the same, except I've added in an additional $4 credit. So the reason why I added in 4 is because the legislation presented gets rid of the homestead credit. So there is 2 separate fees. So seniors who are 65 and older, 62 and older get a $1 credit if they apply. That's provided by the city. If you're 65 and older and you apply for homestead exemption through the county, that's another $1 credit. If they provide that information to utilities, utilities will give them another credit for a total of $2 a month. So the homestead credit, as proposed in the legislation, would go away, and we would be looking at an additional $4 credit for North Ridgeville's senior credit. So you can see from the fund summary, I start this in 2026. It would be an additional, for the seniors signed up for the program today. So we have about 2,700 seniors signed up for the program. If this doesn't increase, so we can't anticipate if more seniors will sign up. My guess is if you're giving a $5 credit, it probably will increase, but we'll just base it off what we have today. So the revenues decrease by about $133,968 per year, just as our guesstimate today. You can see that definitely there will be no, on the bottom of the spreadsheet, just like the last one, there will be no rate holidays. It wipes out the rate holiday, in fact, for the latter 2 years. But in addition, the fund will be in deficit in 29 and 30. That's just based on the seniors signed up today and taking into account the fund balances today. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, obviously, negative fund balances don't work. We're required by ordinance to have 2-month carry forward. So obviously what would have to happen is the rates would have to go up for everyone in order to accommodate that deficit. I mean, it's simple, straightforward math. I'm not doing anything very difficult, but that's the outcome of doing that.
Correct. Yeah, when I hear deficit in 29 and 30, it causes concern. We're still a growing city and people are getting older. So, members of the committee, do you have any comments, questions?
Through the chair, is your definition of a senior over 62 or over 65?
The North Ridgeville senior credit applies to residents 62 and over. The county's credit is 65 and older for the refuse piece.
Is there a difference between garbage and refuse?
No.
Because
Trash collection, refuse, same thing.
because both terms are in the ordinance, and I'm wondering why. Is recycle considered garbage or refuse?
Recycle is part of the refuse.
Okay, so that's the difference, basically.
No, it's collection, trash and trash collection. Through the chair, I do want to, I just want to ask the Utilities Committee, ordinance number 5479, 2017 is what authorizes the finance director to review the fund. And should the committee determine that they want to move forward, I would just ask that language be added to this ordinance to allow me to adjust the rate should any deficit occur automatically. Because what ends up happening is each year in September, I do an analysis, and this legislation restricts me to only increase the rate by the amount of the increase in refuse collection. So if the supplier who collects our trash raises the rate $5, I can only raise the rate $5. But to accommodate for a fund balance deficit, I would have to go above and beyond that. So if there's going to be consideration to approve this and pass, I would ask that council consider that we amend the ordinance to allow more oversight by the finance department to ensure the rate can automatically be raised so that I'd have the ability to prevent deficit.
Thank you. Members of the committee, any other comments?
Through the chair, I guess my question would be is if we allowed this discount, would that mean in order to compensate for the discount, we would have to pass an increase to those who are younger than 62 or 65, whichever it is?
Well, the
Would that be
increase.
accurate?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Would that be accurate?
Yes, but the increase would apply to everybody, including the senior. So the senior pays the same rate as everybody else, less $1 today. So if I increase the rate, that increase is gonna apply to everyone, less the $1 or less the $5.
Bruce, I'm sorry, we can't have two separate rate structures. We don't have that capability in our systems. So there's one rate for everybody. There's just a discount for some people.
Yeah,
Through the chair.
makes sense.
Yes.
Discussing the 2.95% transaction fee for credit cards, it said the city incurs nearly $450,000 annually in credit card fees. What account were those credit card fees paid out of before the legislation was passed to give it to the consumers to pay?
That would have been any of the departments that collect credit cards. So you're talking about Park and Rec, water, sewer. Some went to refuse, but I'm looking at the financial statements, which are viewable online, and it was minimal. You're talking about mayor's court, civil service collections. It's citywide.
So
That was a
depending on what-
citywide number, yeah.
So if you pay your water bill and you pay your credit card, the city paid those fees out of
Yeah.
which fund?
It gets divided based on the total amount that you pay. The credit card fee, when the city covered it, there was an allocation by percentage base based on the total amount you paid. The fund then picked up that amount for the expense side of the fees. So
Whether
it was
water,
allocated.
refuse?
Yeah, so if somebody paid their entire utility bill, let's say, then depending on the proportionate share of revenue going into each fund, that proportionate expense was then allocated to each fund for the credit card fee.
So do you have an estimate of what we've saved so far, charging the residents the credit card fees for the refuse fund?
I can tell you that, well, a lot goes into the electronic collection line. It's only, I have through June. It looks like through June, we've spent about $8,000, but that encompasses multiple types of fees. It's not just, it's hard to say. We don't have an account line that's just credit card fees. It's all merchant services.
That fee would be paid directly to it wouldn't come through us.
Yeah, but she's saying, can I look at like December 31st and then just of last year and determine how much of what was going in that line is attributed to credit card fees is what I think you're asking. In this account, there's multiple fees that the city is charged for electronic collections, so we would have to go through and divvy that up based on the statement. But
Through the
can-
chair?
Yes.
I guess my question statement would be, our rates are based upon our overall cost, correct?
your rate is based on the cost of refuse
So in the
collection.
past, that credit card fee was figured into the cost of our utilities bill.
For sure, yes,
And now it's been taken out
yes.
because it's no longer a cost item. So in other words, there's no money that is in a separate fund somewhere that we're now saving. It's just part of our, it's no longer part of our rate fee. If you,
So the revenue collected from refuse is used to pay for personal services, it's used to pay for other expenses, you know, collection, the money, the software. Like I said, the same allocation that's used to charge the credit card fees is the same allocation we use to charge all other expenses. So there's a line on here that says other. That is everything else outside of personal services. You see those numbers are really low comparatively. We're very sensitive about this account because we don't want to overuse funds. So if it's not directly related to refuse, it doesn't get charged here. And then your refuse collection. So in total, yes.
Yeah, it was part of our line cost. Now it's no longer part of our line cost. So in other words, there's no excess money available.
If it is, it's minimal for passing along the fee. I can tell you in the December 2024 financial statement under electronic collections, the amount was $25,000, but that encompasses multiple things. If you look at the June report in that same line, there's $8,000 there right now in fees, in charges. So I would imagine that the amount associated with simply credit card charges is minimal.
Any other questions?
That's
Any other members of council have any questions?
Chair,
Mr. President?
April, have you calculated, maybe you already said it and I missed it, but did you calculate what amount the rate would have to increase for those under 62? Well,
Yes.
for everybody in order for this to go through?
I have not. My fear in doing that in advance is that I'd only be doing it for the folks currently enrolled. I can tell you the additional $4 per senior enrolled today is going to cost the city cost the fund an additional $133,968. Now, if more seniors enroll, of course, that amount increases. So I did not go through and project in 29 and 30 because I don't know what that would look like. I would imagine that the number will increase, but I can't say by how much. So I would have to wait until I can see like how much in deficit do we need to make up in order to see. Like in the first year, the 26,000, it'll probably in 2029 it would be minimal because you have approximately almost 14,600 actually customers that receive refuse services. So if you do that math, that's really kind of low. But in 2030, where you get higher up into the $67,000 to $70,000 deficit, then that rate would go up slightly more. Can actually
Any other members of council? Well, while we have the Director of Utilities here, did you want to say anything this evening, Tara? Very good. Before I open it up to the public, Mayor, any final thoughts or comments?
Not right now.
Okay. Is there anybody in the lobby who'd like to speak on? If you would please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and we'll give you approximately 3 minutes to speak.
Pat Bork, did you ask for an address? 8717 Mosswood Circle. Just some clarification, I'm not sure that I followed all those numbers. I'm trying to think when I pay my utility bill, mine is automatic out of a checking account. If I were to pay in a credit card, I would not be paying the fee, the city's paying the fee?
Not as of today. We passed along credit card fees to any payee beginning January 1st.
Okay. You're thinking of changing that?
No, we recently changed that in January of this year. The city used to absorb all the credit card fees for any customer that paid via credit card, and we changed it,
Okay.
passed along the
So
fee.
right now, if you pay by credit card, you are also paying the fee for that?
You will be charged a fee, yes.
And that's not up for discussion?
I don't believe so.
Like I said, I wasn't really following all this. Okay. My own opinion is if you pay by credit card, you're paying a fee and that's the way it should be. Okay, just I had my say-so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone
Through
else?
the chair,
Yes.
to answer Councilman Jacobs' question, for the year in which the deficit would be $26,851, every refuse customer, and there's 14,631 of them, would pay $1.83 for additional to cover the senior credit. For the year in which the deficit is $66,205, every customer would be charged $4.52.
Thank you. Hi, please state your name and address for the record.
Sandra Williams, 33909 Bainbridge Road, North Ridgeville. I guess the statement I would make is, you'll just raise the refuse, what Allied Waste charges. It'll go up, and we have more and more people moving into the city now, so the fund becomes larger and larger. So I don't understand why you can't give a little bit back. You certainly know how to take. Be nice to give something back to the citizens for a change, instead of always having your hands in our pockets. That's all.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Okay, back to members of the committee. Any final comments or questions?
Through the chair,
Yes.
I'm thoroughly confused. And it doesn't help that this is unreadable. I don't know how to vote on something that I don't understand.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my recommendation too, if we could table this and have a chance to kind of look over these numbers and then also get some more clarification from you as we go forward and more forecasting, just so we have an idea of where we're going. I'm obviously right now not a fan of this. I don't believe in giving a discount, creating a deficit, then raising rates for everyone to cover that discount. So I'd like to be able to investigate a little bit more and have some numbers to take a look at. So,
I would also add that one of the issues becoming a senior is stuff like this print gets smaller and smaller as you get older and older. So you might want to use some larger font.
very good. Councilman Evans?
To the lady with the refuse, my understanding is on the refuse, Waste Management, I believe that's who we use, or Republic Services, which is one and the same. They actually charge us by the house or the address, not a flat fee.
That is correct.
Okay, so when new residents or new developments come online, our fee goes up based upon those homes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not that we have our hands in your pockets.
Yeah. You can see
I guess
that.
the other thing too, I'm a senior. I've been getting the discounts, and I have to admit the discount of the water I use is greatly appreciated, because being empty nesters, we don't use a lot of water, and on top of that, we switch from a top loader washing machine, which uses 40 gallons, to a front loader, which uses 7 to 10 gallons. That saves a ton of money. Also, I do not irrigate my lawn, because I don't want to spend the money on it. I don't think it's right that the seniors should be transferring their cost of living to the younger generations. I have some issues with the taxes and that, but this is our cost of living. I appreciate the discounts that I do get right now, and I really don't see what this $5 is really going to do for me. I think it's more of a detriment to the city and to the utilities department than it would be a benefit to the seniors. So that's my thoughts at this point. And yeah, I would like to table it for the time being until we get more data.
Thank you. Councilman Schaefer, any final comments?
Do we use different service providers for recycling and for garbage?
I don't believe so. We just,
Because it's always two different trucks. Is it the same company, though?
they're probably,
Okay.
yeah, same company. Okay, with that said, any final comments, questions? All right, with that, I'll move to table this discussion till our next meeting, and during that time, if we get this information in a legible, readable fashion. I'd appreciate it. So I make a move to table this discussion to our next meeting.
Second.
It was moved by DeVries, seconded by Abens to table this discussion for the Utilities Committee till the next meeting. Take roll. Schaefer?
Yes.
Abens?
Yes.
DeVries? Yes. Vote is 3-0 to table this conversation until the next Utilities meeting. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.